Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, this is sort of like a response video, but then again, it ain't a response video. But I did want to comment off a video that I saw earlier today, put out by Dr. Boyce Watkins. You know, back in the day, I used to be a big supporter of Dr. Boyce Watkins. I mean, when I first got on YouTube, I used to support him a lot when he was, when he would be making his way on mainstream TV. Sometimes when he'd make appearances on, I think, Fox, CNN. And I remember when he was on Stephen A. Smith's show, quite frankly. So, like a lot of people, they kind of removed him from mainstream TV and he went to YouTube, and I followed him on YouTube. I watch his channel, but I'm not, I'm not promoting him and into him as I used to be, because, just over the past couple of years, I've just saw a lot of red flags. He's tied to a lot of different controversies surrounding, and particularly a lot of women that used to deal with him. And he's such an advocate for, treating women with respect and all that kind of stuff. But it appears that he's had a lot of different fallouts with women that was once affiliated with him, from, Cynthia G to Paris Milan to, a couple of other people, to Michi X, and then you've heard things about him and, behind the scenes. Then his recent beef with Kwame Brown, which to me, I feel to a certain degree, he kind of like started it with Kwame Brown, because it came across when he was saying Kwame Brown need to stop saying the N-word so much, because that'll get his channel taken down. So it kind of came across as he was like dry snitching on Kwame, but nevertheless, they both moved on from the beef. But I know over the past couple of years, I've seen him say some questionable things that kind of made me raise my eyebrow to him, because, one, he kind of defended Rachel Dolezal, and we all know that Rachel Dolezal doesn't deserve any defense of anybody that's black. Anybody that defends what that trifling lady did, then that make me suspicious of you. And on a couple occasions, he's defended Shaun King and calling him a brother, which we all know Shaun King ain't no brother. But he did a video today trying to make it seem like it was more of a good cop, bad cop, or a devil's advocate type of video about Shaun King, where he was trying to say he wasn't pro Shaun King, but he wasn't anti Shaun King neither. But when I got through listening to the video, it seemed like he was more in support of Shaun King than he was against Shaun King. And then he tried to kind of like, question black people and ask, why do black people don't trust or don't like Shaun King? And it's obvious. One, Shaun King has lied about his background and who he is. That's more than enough reason. He lied about being black. Shaun King, all the way up until high school, he was saying he was white. And then he was asked several times to explain, these former doctor reports that came up when he was allegedly attacked. They had his paperwork. He marked down that he was white. So then he made up this elaborate story about his mother possibly had an affair with a light-skinned black man. But all his brothers and sisters are white, and he has, they found his birth certificate, and the man that is his biological father is white. So at the end of the day, he was asked to take an ancestry test, a DNA test to prove who he was. And he said no. And he refused to do it. And then throughout the years, Shaun King has went around trying to question people's blackness and call him, people that you know for a fact is black, trying to insinuate they was coons, Uncle Toms, and all that kind of stuff. He ain't in no position to question nobody's blackness, especially if you could clearly see that they black. And this dude told a lie about who he was and where he came from. So, I watched the video with Dr. Boyce Watkins. Now, Shaun King is being questioned about what is he doing with some of the money he's raised, in regards to his activism. Now, people saying he didn't bought this elaborate $800,000 house in New Jersey and all this kind of stuff. And just like the lady who co-founded Black Lives Matter, if we gonna question her about some of the assets that she's bought and obtained, we damn sure got a right to question Shaun King. And so he goes into this whole rhetoric about, so activists is supposed to be broke and all this kind of stuff. Look, let me explain something to you. If you start a non-profit organization, it's called a non-profit organization, not non-profit or almost non-profit or semi-non-profit. If you get $5 million in donations for your cause, well, that $5 million is supposed to be spent on activism or whatever. Now, if you want to say that, if you want to have a disclaimer and saying that a percentage of the donations, because I've looked on some of these nonprofit organizations. Now, if you want to say a percentage of donations will be used to keep, for organizational use, such as like putting together meetings and all that kind of stuff, and travel expenses and all that kind of stuff, okay, that's fine. But a lot of times they don't do it. And that's why when you start seeing people who's used people's names, like Tamar Rice and other people, the situated Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, a couple of other people, and you got people to donate hundreds of thousands and maybe millions of dollars to these organizations in their name, and then you got Tamar Rice's mother saying, well, hell, I only got $60,000 from a guy like Shaun King, but yet this man then moved into an $800,000 house. And then when she questioned these organizations, people was trying to insinuate that she was an agent. And I know people are moved by Shaun King every time there's a shooting of an unarmed black man and all that kind of stuff. Shaun King is the first to highlight it sometimes. Well, he has to do this because he has to keep this, whatever this is, going. And I'm not mesmerized by people like him. And that's so funny. It's amazing how black people are mesmerized by people that don't look like us, that can do certain things that we supposed to be specialists in, or all that kind of stuff. Just like the whole Eminem situation. There's always been white guys that can rap. But they made it look like when Eminem came about that he revolutionized white rappers, and that's not true. And black people got a bad habit of sensationalizing certain things. There's always been white guys that can dunk. That's just real talk. There's always been white guys that can take you off the dribble and drive to come on, man, just stop it. We got to stop sensationalizing things, because to a certain degree, it's sort of like when you've been conditioned to think, well, that's the only thing you could do as a black person is play sports, rap, dance, or sing. And then when you come across somebody that don't look like you, that may possibly be able to hold their own against you, then they sensationalize it and make it look like it's something they've never seen before. There's always been white people that can sing. But you got to understand, they tell black people, you guys are the best at this, you the guys are the best at that. And, you know, they push us towards that realm. They don't tell us, you guys should go to law school, you guys should be doctors. So that's why when we go to the NBA, the NFL, and all that kind of stuff, and then we run across a white guy that could do this, or a non-black, then we're all of a sudden mesmerized. I've never been mesmerized, because I've never been one to believe, yeah, for the most part, we do dominate sports because of our genetics. But there's going to always be somebody that don't look like us that's going to be able to perform at a high level. So, you know, it is what it is. But getting back to Martin Luther Cream, aka Malcolm X, I just don't trust that dude. And the black community has every right not to trust Shaun King. Every right. Based off how he's lied, based off some of the things he's done. To sit up there and to see Dr. Watkins kind of cape for Shaun King, once again, that's another question mark about him. I know he from Kentucky, like Shaun King, but that don't mean nothing. Because like I said before, I'm not finna give somebody a pass because they from the same city as me. The same way I called out Mr. Fab and Radio Raheem and other people from Oakland for basically, you know, going against the grain, you know, and not being on code. That's the same thing with Shaun King. Shaun King can't be on code because he's not one of us anyway. He isn't. And that's just real talk. And people can take it however they want to. And to sit up there and say that black people, that's what kind of took me back when Dr. Boyce Watkins said that some of us don't like Shaun King for no reason. Due to the fact that he lied who he was and about his background, that's more than enough reason not to trust or like him. That's it. That's all. I don't have to like Shaun King. I don't have to trust Shaun King. And then Shaun King comes across as a crybaby too. This man is threatening to sue people if they make videos talking bad on him or saying they don't trust him and all, which he can't do. So what you gonna do? You gonna flag every video because somebody said they don't trust you? I'm just saying. But we have every right not to trust this dude. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.